Did you know that 80% of cat bites get infected? I just found that out, so there's some random knowledge for you today. Anyway, Digimon Adventure 2020 is still a thing that's happening. Yeah, I apologize for the lack of videos again. Just let's get caught up now. I feel like a broken record because a lot of this is probably going to be things I've said already, but I don't know who this is for. Like, if this is for kids, I just don't feel like it has the charm and even the depth of development of the original series. And if it's for adults, it's too simple. Like, I feel like none of the stories so far have had nearly the same impact as they did in the original. And maybe it's just because I grew up with the original. And I'm trying to think, well, is it just because I'm an adult now that it's not resonating with me? And I thought, no, I didn't watch Tamers until I was an adult or in Frontier. And, those resonated with me just fine. At least Tamers did. So I just okay, so we got Tailmon's story in this arc, and it just doesn't hold a candle to what it was in the adventures. Like, think about the scene where Tailmon sneaks into the apartment and Hikari's alone and Tailmon is about to kill her and then she can't do it. Like, that scene is iconic. And we got a whole episode almost devoted entirely to Tailmon's backstory and what was happening with her, and it's some of the best stuff in the original series. And I just think about what they did in this new one, and it's not bad. The idea that the Holy Digimon were locked away and because of their power, and they have to save them, and it's not bad. It's just not. It's not as compelling. It's not as interesting. Like, Hikari tells Taichi, like, "Oh yeah, I went off with them because I knew you would save me." And it's like, okay, that's not compelling. One of the things that's been bothering me is the elements that they're pulling from 02. And just because I love 02 and I love the characters, and I'm still bitter about what they did with them in Try, and it's weird to me that Millenniummon is the new villain. Like, it makes sense, I guess, because he's this reboot does seem kind of really invested in the lore, and Millenniummon is a big bad. But he's from 02, and I guess he's more from the games than the anime. But he was in the anime, and who doesn't know at this point that Digimon that they took out was Millenniummon. Also, the fact that they're using armor evolutions, I don't think I like that. Just because I really liked the idea of the armor evolutions in 02, how they were essentially like a hack that the kids couldn't digivolve normally, so they used the power of the eggs and binding them essentially to their Digimon, to the point that like the armor evolutions have the eggs designs built into them. Like, especially you can see it on Flamedramon. It's just, like, the armor evolutions are tied into those eggs, or the Digimentals, I guess. And I don't like that we're getting armor evolutions without that lore. Not that it's a bad thing, but that's so specific, and I don't know why. Like, if they gave Takeru Pegasmon because they didn't want Angemon on screen all the time, I get it, because there is kind of a disconnect between Patamon and Angemon. Like, Patamon is this cute, squishy little thing who is playful and childish, and Angemon is, this regal, holy, angelic Digimon, and it almost feels like two different characters. So I get it, but I don't like it. I don't like that Pegasmon is just there. And where's, like, if that's what they're going for, where's Nefertimon? Like, get the Distaff counterpart in there. I had a thought this morning as I was thinking about it, getting ready to record this, and I was like, oh, what if all this stuff means that they are going to bring the 02 kids into this reboot, but like at the age they would be, like Takeru and Hikari's age, like little Daisuke and little Miyako, and even younger Iori. And I was like, oh, that would be so cute, and it would be something different. And I started to get really excited about this idea, and then I was like, that it's probably not going to happen. I don't know how long this reboot is going to be, but we're pretty far into it, and there's been no mention of the 02 kids, so it's probably not going to happen. But now, now the idea's in my head, and I'm like, oh, that would be so cool. Blitz Greymon. I'm weak. I'm weak for new forms and new evolutions, and he's kind of ridiculous looking, but I still love it. I do love the idea of digivolutions that occur because of the environment, like they're adapting to the environment around them. That's a really cool idea. I would love to see more of that. Like what would happen if they needed to adapt to a water environment or a desert environment or forest. Like it's ripe with so much potential. And like, what if we get a new evolution tree, like with the Digimentals and like environmental forms for all the Digimon. I don't see that happening, but it would be cool, and it would be something new and different. They had that little teaser where Koshiro was like, someday, you, Alter Kabuterimon, you will also evolve into this armored form. I was like, oh, yes, please. Yeah. I like those little end bits with Koshiro and the Digimon Encyclopedia. They're cute, and they're funny. And they really get to show Koshiro and Tentamon's personalities. I'm enjoying them a lot. I liked Mimi's episode. Once again, the side characters, I guess, are more interesting to me than Taichi and Yamato. I like that Mimi's episode was kind of like a harkening back to Princess Mimi and in a sense, like it wasn't the same. That's what I liked about it. It wasn't the same storyline, but it felt very much in character for her to be, obsessed with gemstones and something pretty. But at the same time, her compassion is really showing through, and she's talking about, workers' rights and saving all the Digimon who are being overworked in the castle. And I liked that a lot. I also liked that, again, we saw her grandfather, the head of Tachikawa Industries, and it's making me think that he's going to be a bigger part in the story, and I like that a lot. I can't wait to see what they do with it. And also, it's just great to see more of the kid's family, especially someone whose family we didn't really get to see all that much in the original series. I liked Joe's episode, I guess. Again, it felt very much like a harkening back to the original series while still being different, even more so than Mimi's, because it was straight up just the Bakuman episode again. Although I did not like Mephismon. He was creepy. I know they've had demon Digimon before, but they've always been kind of like generic devil designs, especially Devimon. He was just a demon. Mephismon is like with the goat head and the fixed eyes, fixed pupils, and like the talking that seemed like almost like it was backwards or something like that. It was just so creepy. I was like, I know Digimon has never shied away from dark things, but I was like, this is a kid's show, really? Like, that's dark. Whew. I don't know. I didn't like it. But I did like the episode. I did like that we got to see more of Yamato and Gabumon's bond. I liked that we got to see how they met. Like, as short as that bit was, I feel like that was my favorite part in this run of episodes, just because it showcased the characters and what they're made of, and it was a direct contrast to when Taichi met Agumon in this reboot, where Taichi didn't know what was going on, but he just jumped right into it, and Yamato was like, just leave me alone, I'm not interested. And I liked that a lot. I liked that Joe got to shine. I liked that it was Joe and Yamato. It reminded me a lot of the, Digitamamon restaurant episode in Adventure. Again, I like that. It's like a harkening back without being directly the same. One thing I didn't like was how they changed, I know that in the Bakuman episode in the original, in the dub, they made it like Bakuman lose your power, like a mind over matter thing. I believe if I'm correct, in the original it was a Buddhist purification chant that he was doing. Um, and you would think with Mephismon's design and with the crosses and all that, a purification chant would be even more appropriate. But they just changed it to like, he started just reciting facts from his textbooks, and that, I guess, blocked out the droning, whatever Mephismon was trying to get through in their heads. And it's not a bad idea. I just felt like it was funny, but again, that's kind of the problem. I feel like Joe has been reduced to very much a joke character in this reboot, and that hurts my heart because Joe is my favorite character, and it's just a shame to see. And I want to see more of Joe and Gomamon. Oh, I'd love to see more water forms. Can we get like a water episode where Joe actually gets to be there? I liked, what was it, episode 40? Yeah, I liked episode 40 where they all, they had that moment to play soccer, and it was really cute. And like, that's more of a kind of, I don't know, slice of life. Well, it was just a nice character moment, is what it was. And then they get interrupted for more fighting, and the fruit thing was just so awkward and kind of funny. I hope it was supposed to be funny. Like, it was horrifying, but also funny that, like, there's this big fruit in the shape of Greymon, and he's got the horns, and Taichi's fruit has the goggles, and so please tell me that was supposed to be as hilarious an image as I thought it was. Oh, speaking of funny, I think this might have been unintentionally funny, but like, there was that one scene where Millenniumon's shard is about to power up, and then they shut it down. I forget how. I think it's when they got Tailmon back, and then all the Venomon are like, ah. Like, I busted out laughing. I was like, that's hilarious. I don't think it was supposed to be, but that was hilarious.
I can't believe I forgot to mention this in my original video, but the episode where Joe meets the Digimon who loves potatoes, who loves French fries. I thought for sure I talked about it because it made such a big impression on me, but yeah, even now, months later, as I'm finally getting around to editing this, it is the only thing I remember about this run of episodes. Like, as I'm editing the video, I forgot about Mephismon, I forgot about the fruit thing, but I remembered this potato episode. I think partly it's because Joe is my favorite character, and it was another Joe-centric episode. And it was probably the best example of a character-centric episode in this reboot being a harkening back to something that happened in Adventure, because it's literally about Joe and the conflict in a restaurant. And it's a perfect example of what I've been saying, because it's so weak compared to what happened in Adventure. I mean, the conflict in Adventure is that Joe is stuck at this diner, and he's being forced to work to pay off a meal, and doesn't see himself getting out anytime soon. And then Matt joins the picture, and he's upset because he had to leave his brother behind, and so he's getting frustrated, and tensions are escalating, and then they have a fight where Joe almost gets crushed. And the conflict in the reboot is there's a Digimon who's upset because fries are being taken off the menu. And it's just a perfect encapsulation of, like, this reboot is the same, but less. I liked that Joe bonded over the Digimon, over their mutual love of fries, and the fact that Joe was saying, like, yeah, fries are like my comfort food because I stay up late studying, and I go to get this cheap fast food that just makes me feel good. That was a sweet moment, and one of the few moments in this reboot where I feel like Joe is taken seriously as a character. And I liked that look into his character. It's a shadow of what made the original so great, and it's really sad that despite, Millenniummon, despite the high stakes and all the battles that are happening, what stuck in my head was Potatomon.
One thing I am really enjoying about the reboot, and I think I mentioned this before, is the music. I like the music a lot, and I especially like the I like the opening. I've liked all of the theme, or the closing theme songs. and the animations that go along with them, that they've all been great. I don't know if I could pick a favorite. I really like the theme that plays, you know, at the end and the beginning of every episode. Usually when they're doing like the recap, I get it stuck in my head all the time. I love it, and I love that there's like a lighter mix of it also that's like played on almost like steel drums. It's it's great to see a theme that like encapsulates this series and is used, and we've got variations on that theme, and it's just really nice. I just really like the music, so A plus on the music. Yeah, but aside from that, there's not a lot about this new series that's sticking with me. In fact, I went to record this video and I realized I can't remember a good chunk of the things that happened in this, like, episode 30 to 40. And it's like, that's not good. Tailmon's story didn't barely made an impact on me. I like their dynamic. I like the fact that they're fiercely protective of each other, and that Tailmon's more serious because she's been, you know, separated from you know, from Hikari for so long and in the darkness. I like it. It's just, again, I don't see the point of this reboot. It's, you know, when the original is there, I could just go watch the original and get the same thing, and in some cases better. Again, you know, animation's great, high budget, looks awesome. It's dipped in places. Like there was that one, I forget what episode it was. It was one of the ones with Tailmon, but the animation was just so janky in it, and I feel like I was laughing the whole time. Like, oh man, this is bad. But yeah, for the most part, the animation is amazing. The music is great. I mean, I'm still gonna watch it. I need to know what happens now, and I am interested. I am interested to see where they're going with it, I guess I'll say, and I want to see what ends up happening. But yeah, it's overall underwhelming. But anyway, let me know what you think. Do you think we have a chance of seeing the 02 kids in this reboot? How cool would that be? What did you think of Blitz Greymon? And do you think we're gonna get more evolutions like that, maybe with some different characters? I don't know. What are the things that you really liked about this, you know, episode 30 to 40, or what did you not like? And please share your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. Also, here's what I would really love to hear. Someone who did not grow up with Digimon, who for whatever reason is watching this reboot, what do you think of it? Because you know, my experience with this reboot is always going to be colored by the fact that I grew up with the original and I love the original. So, you know, if there's someone out there who, you know, didn't grow up with Digimon and is watching this reboot, please let me know what you think of it. I would love to get your perspective on it. So yeah, that's all I've got for now. Thank you again so much for watching, and as always, I'm eternally optimistic, and I'll catch you guys next time.